Hello, good evening to everybody. Again, we are going to introduce the same topic, and particularly the types of methods. There are three types of methods to test the hypothesis. One is pre-testing of post-testing paradigm. Second one is static group of comparison of paradigm. Third one is non-equivalent or inequivalent controlled group of paradigm. One after another we will check out. In pre-testing of post-testing paradigm, the research scholar was selected only single field area. In that he wants to test the functional value. How? Before and after introduction of the variable. So he wants to introduce the one new variable in a particular village or particular field area, selected field area. Before that, first you should check what is the functional general value, functional normal value or general value, or after the introduction of new variable, is there any effect or not in its functional value? We want to check, we want to compare. That's why before and after effect of the variable. Yes, 100% sure there is a lot of difference before and after the introduction of the variable. This is because of external influence and the transformation from one phase to another phase. Second category is static group of comparison of paradigm. Here, instead of the single area and also to test the before and after effect of the variable, here the research scholar has changed the another method. That is, he selected the two general villages. He wants to test the functional value. Example, TV. In a particular A village, he wants to introduce the TV. In another B village, there is no introduction of the TV. As a result, automatically there is a lot of change. A village to the B village. But in the A village, the new variable is not dependent variable. It is an independent variable. As a result, there is a lot of difference had been taken place between two villages with respect to the functional values. That's why we call it as static group of comparison of paradigm. The third variety is non-equivalent or inequivalent controlled group of paradigm. Here, the research scholar, again he wants to introduce the another method. Instead of selecting the two general villages, he selected the identical two villages, more or less same characteristic features. He wants to test it. So he introduced the independent variable in A village, that is inequivalent to controlled group paradigm. He introduced it. In another, without the independent variable, he wants to see the functional value. Example, what is the variable name? Independent variable name, school. In A village, when he introduced the school, there is a lot of influence had been taken place on the population. Why? Because again it depends upon the population size, class system and caste system and other attributed subsystems. As a result, its school influence is more on population. But the result is error. Why? Because the mode of the selection of field area is wrong. Why? Because they use it to select the field area in a random fashion. As a result, the hypothesis is get the errors. Like this also, we can introduce the computers in Delhi secondary schools. The same values came. By this, we have the overall knowledge about the three methods. Once again, we will review. There are three methods of hypothesis test to test the hypothesis. One is pre-testing of post-testing of paradigm. Second one is static group of comparison of paradigm. Third one is non-equivalent or inequivalent controlled group paradigm. One after another we will check out. In pre-testing of post-testing, the research scientist or the research scholar selected only single village or single research area, field area. In that, he wants to test the functional values before and after introduction of the variables. First, he wants to test the what is the normal functional value, and then after introducing that variable, is there any changes or not? 100% there are the changes. This is because of transformation from old to the new, and also because of external influence. And the second method is static group of comparison paradigm. Here the author is not so happy introducing only the single variable in the single field. So he wants to select the two areas in general way. But the variable is independent variable. This is very important. Example, the independent variable name is, let us assume as a TV. There are two villages he selected. In A village he introduced the TV, and in B village he does not want to introduce it. Then and there he wants to observe the functional values. In A village, automatically its influence is more in the A village people. Compare with the another village where there is no new variable as usual, as it stands. But in third category, third method of testing hypothesis, the name is non-equivalent controlled group paradigm. Here the author is not satisfied by the both what I said. The third category is he selected the two villages, the two identical villages. In that he wants to introduce the independent variables. Here the independent variable name is school. Here also AB villages. In the A village he introduced the independent variable, the name is school. In another village he does not want to introduce it. Again he wants to test the two villages, A and B. The inference is in B village there is no change, that is as usual as it stands. But in A village there is a lot of changes because of the school. Even though it is a single independent factor, but it depends upon the number of sub-factors in the villages. Example, population size, caste system, class system, and other attributed sub-areas. As a result, the functional value is differ compared with the big group. But the hypothesis is coming error. Why? Because the selection of field areas is wrong. Why? Because it has the method of selection is randomly selected instead of the specific purpose. Purposive sampling is different. Random sampling is different. For this third method, he should take the purposive sampling. But by mistake, he has taken the random sampling. As a result, what is happening? The error has taken place in hypothesis. By this, today, gist of the lecture is completed. Please kindly do subscribe. This is Bindu taking leave from the YouTube platform. Good night.